Welcome, everyone. It is Sunday. We are here today in the Trader's Crib for our Sunday school charting. Today is November 19th, and we are here the Sunday before Thanksgiving because we will not be here next weekend over the Thanksgiving weekend. We want everyone to have their time with their families. So we're going to practice some more, get our charting set up for this week, or this short week of trading that we're coming into this week. We'll only have 3 days of trading, technically 4 if you count Black Friday, but nothing exciting usually happens on Black Friday. So I expect this week to be a slow week of trading anyway as we enter Thanksgiving, but we'll get whatever money we can get and go from there and check out this market. So welcome again, everyone, and it is nice to see everybody. All right, so before we start, as always, we will get into some mindset, and then we'll go into a little bit of fundamentals. We don't dwell on it too much on a non-trading day, but we do like to look to see what news or what information has taken place over the weekend that may help us figure out what may happen right in the week ahead. So we like to take note. Sometimes big things can happen over the weekend, so we want to make note of that, and then we'll get into these charts, and we will do a top-down analysis from the weekly down to the 15-minute, looking for setups. I will be reaching out to you all for any additional tickers that you would like to look at for today that we can chart together and see if we have any type of strategy that we can put to play as far as trading that ticker. Okay, so first and foremost, let's do mindset today. Of course, we're always going to refer back to our daily laws of Robert Greene today. And because it's 365 days of affirmations and understanding of oneself. And today is November 19th. So we'll flip to that page. And today we're talking about destiny. Destiny. What are you destined to be? So because this particular excerpt is pretty brief today, I'm just going to read it and let you all take from it what you need. So the daily law states, you are destined to accomplish great things. And by thinking that, you will create a self-fulfilling dynamic. They further explain it by giving examples of Alexander the Great and Julius Caesars by saying, those two great leaders felt that they were descended from God and part divine, and such belief would translate into high levels of confidence that others would feed off and recognize. It became a self-fulfilling prophecy. You do not need to indulge in such grandiose thoughts, but feeling that you are destined for something great or important will give you a degree of resilience when people oppose or resist you. You will not internalize the doubts that come from such moments. You will have an enterprising spirit, and you will continually try new things, even taking risks, confident in your ability to bounce back from failures and feeling destined to succeed. So this, for me, and that's the paragraph, and I hope that resonates with you guys, because I hope that some of you, at least I know I feel, I was destined to be this trader, or we wouldn't have the Trader's Crib, right? So whatever your desires are, a better trader, if you're trading to help further your overall wealth and investments for your other passions in life, whatever it may be, looking at yourself not like I am God in a narcissistic way, right? But believing in yourself that, you are what some like to say, like an image or reflection of God, right? That you have that ability to create, right? You have that ability and power to manifest what you need for your life. Understanding that and embodying that is going to help give you that additional confidence to take these lessons, we'll call them lessons in the market, and get right back up and get back in it. And we, or at least me and a few others in this crib, have shown examples of that in our day trading, right? We take a loss, get right back up, get back in it. And we believe in ourselves that we can actually get this accomplished. So we want to keep that great mindset of destiny and what you feel that you're great to do, and know that you're here for more than just yourself. Okay. All right. Mindset. Whitney says, my BFF is an intuitive reader and seeing trader in my chart. She told me years ago. Wow, Whitney, that's what's up. And been killing it since, right? So, hey, that's what I'm saying. What are you destined for? What greatness? And it comes in various ways for all of us. Perfect. I love that. Thank you, Whitney. All right. Moving on into Forex Factory. We'll go into fundamentals and look at some Forex Factory first for this upcoming week. All right. So tomorrow, Monday, we will not meet as live day traders tomorrow because we do not have a red folder, as you guys can see. Only a yellow folder, and we're not too worried about it. Now on Tuesday and Wednesday, we do also have a red folder on Black Friday, but again, because of it being Black Friday and Thanksgiving holiday, we will also not meet on this Black Friday. But Tuesday and Wednesdays, we will meet for live day trading. On Tuesday, we have the FOMC meeting minutes at 2 p.m. These minutes will come out and kind of just, sometimes it can jolt the market, sometimes it can make it just stutter. And we may be in a stutter situation due to the fact that we don't have a lot of room to run right now, except for down. So we could do that. But we know that the week upcoming, or the week in a bank holiday is what I'm trying to say. If there's a bank holiday within a week of trading, things technically tend to be a little slower. There's just not a lot of action going on. We got a lot of travel coming up. So you guys know the drill for Thanksgiving. Moving on to Wednesday, November 22nd, we have unemployment claims, and then we have the revised University of Michigan consumer sentiment to close Friday off with the flash manufacturing PMI. So again, don't expect too much volatility this week. Take it very, very slow. Maybe practice, maybe some other strategies if you feel like it, but we'll look at the chart, and I'll kind of advise you guys based on what the chart looks like, what we can kind of squeeze out of this week. It'll be an interesting week. Moving over to CNBC. So we're not really looking at the banner here on Sunday. We're just kind of looking at whatever headline news that came out over the weekend that CNBC would like to bring to our attention. So right now, AI seems like it's like the conversation of everything as of late. People who use ChatGPT, any other entrepreneurs in the house that are putting content together, and you see the platforms like use AI to help write your content, use AI to help build your courses, use AI. We're going there. We're going there fast. Y'all also hang on for the ride. Moving over to Benzinga this morning. See, I'm so used to my morning live trading. This evening for Sunday school. The headlines today is about Blackstone leads the pack in Signature Bank's massive property loan sales. So it looks like banks were looking, or at least Blackstone, leading to some sell-offs of property loans. We have interest rates high. We had some news headlines come out last week that I saw about, maybe we can get Federal Power to cut the interest rates sometime soon here, and we'll see. We'll just see. It's all just rumor to me. All these writers on all these articles on these sites, they need a job, so they get paid, right? So that's what it is. Okay. So they're gonna put anything out here. Other than that, we'll see how the market will go. Like I said, not too much to look at into this week of holiday for us. Of course, any international news we can take a glance at and see what it does. But so far, we don't have any that's screaming at us as far as headlines from those two sources, I would say, to be very specific. All right. Are there any other questions or any other news that anybody wants to bring to our attention before we move into the charts? Just asking. And if not, we'll let it rip starting with the futures, and we'll do our weekly top-down analysis and go from there. All right. So looking at the futures chart, we have what I did already. I always kind of get the weekly support and resistance over with and come down from the daily and give you the extra lines. So right now I picked support and resistance just based off of the fair value gaps that were created for the past couple of weeks, as we had cleared a weekly fair value gap last week, right? So last week there was a nice weekly fair value gap that went from, where are my little shortcut tools? Ran off to, here they go. We had a weekly fair value gap that went from here to here, right? This was our weekly fair value gap. We had it wicking here twice. Price came back with a vengeance and said, we're finally going to clear this weekly fair value gap. And we took that out last week and then some. So we're here at the top, right? So we're into the shoulder area of resistance. And then we have another weekly fair value gap further up to the top that's been wicked in it just a bit. We'll see if it wants to come all the way back. Of course, we are aware that it will have to clear this top here that was formed from the week of August 28th. We will have to clear this as well. But we do look like we have a pretty strong pattern to potentially go up there. But we'll see how this week and the end of the month will like to close. We'll just leave it like that. Looking at the support area, we have weekly fair value gaps to the bottom. And again, from the weekly perspective, I just want to square off my fair value gaps, meaning I just want to put a line at the top, open it, and a line at the bottom, so I can just understand where my big, hard levels of bounce may take place, right? That's all you need from the weekly perspective. If there's any fair value gaps, you just want to acknowledge those first, and then we can come down to the daily and we can continue to chart from there. Esther says earnings this week: NVIDIA, Zoom, Kohl's, HP. I'm thinking is at the Hewlett Packard HP computer, Esther, and then Lowe's. Just making sure it's not another HP that you're referring to. Okay. Cool. So we'll look. My eyes are definitely on NVIDIA earnings for what NVIDIA is going to do. Zoom, don't care too much about, but if you all are interested, we can take a look at these tickers to set up for earnings if anybody is interested. If you guys want that, just let me know. Just say like me, I want that in the chart. We'll go over on which one you want to look at. We can look at all 5 of them, but if you want, like, we know we're going to look at NVIDIA because it's on my watch list as well. Okay, great. But then do you want to look at Zoom, Kohl's, Hewlett Packard, or Lowe's? Up to you guys. Let me know. I'll keep my eyes on chat. We'll look at HD because I know that's an Esther. Well, it was a once upon a time we all traded it, but we've left it alone as of recently. So you guys just let me know, and I'll write it down, and we'll make sure we get to it. All right. So from the futures perspective, we are now back down here to the daily, on the daily chart. So from here, let's continue charting key levels of support and resistance that we can potentially trade off of starting tonight into tomorrow and look for our setups. So the first thing I'm going to also acknowledge in this, since my weekly, we'll start from the bottom of support here. So now we're looking at support. We're looking at my weekly fair value gaps that were created down below. We see that they're crossing into daily fair value gaps. The first small fair value gap is right into the daily order block, right? And the opening of the second fair value gap is in a daily fair value gap, and it is lined up perfectly with the wick of the close of the candle that was rejected from that daily fair value gap before price went back up. Okay. And then the close of that weekly fair value gap is in a deeper daily fair value gap and about 50% through it. Right. So we're going to leave those levels exactly where they are because I think they're perfect, especially when we go down to the 2 hour. I have a feeling we're going to see it line up beautifully. All right. We come to the top side. We look to see where our weekly fair value gaps lined up. The opening lined up right at the top of the wick of this peak here, where price came out of this ugly looking W formation, wicked into the weekly fair value gap, and then came down and eventually created an order block shoulder, and price continued to fall down. Right. So we're in this zone, and in order to retrace into here and break it, we will be pushing into a daily fair value gap, as you can see. So from the top here, what I'm going to do is this daily fair value gap that's also the opening of a daily gap. I'm going to mark the top of the base of that candle. I'll go ahead and use a dashed line for it at the 46.38. That will be closing my daily fair value gap, even though it's technically to here. Okay, I don't give a damn about that because I know there's a physical gap. So if you need something to help you remember that this is a physical gap, you can do, I don't know how you can here. Well, I don't even know why I did that. So what I can do is I can take the top of it. I can change this line to purple and leave the gap closed red, right? However you want to color code it, the trader's choice. Okay. But the whole point is to acknowledge that price could come through this weekly fair value gap area, wicking back into the daily fair value gap and take it all the way out to the top of the candle base first, I'm not worrying about this damn gap. It's a physical gap as well. So you guys know that there's going to be a pullback there. So I would take profit. Order will be at the close of that candle if price were to come all the way up there. All right. So that's securing the top. As far as a long-term swing trader, we'll kind of look at it, looking at the levels. All right. Now, coming back down to the bottom, we have this really big fair value gap, daily fair value gap at the bottom here due to last Tuesday. Great, not so great because price is literally sitting on top of this fair value gap till the end of the week. My confidence level on where price is going to go into this week is very, very, very low. I think it's going to continue to do more of the same shit that it left us with on Friday, which is bullshit. So, which made us get out early. I don't think we needed to get out. I got out of some of my positions early too. I flipped around. It's just a doji type day. And I'm really going to, y'all going to see a lot of verticals come back for me because the chop, like ride to ride and just stop buying single legs when it's choppy. Just stop. Just stop it. Something will give and something will make you stop. Just don't do it. All right. So the daily fair value gap open at 45.09. And that's if it's going to finally like really come in here if it wants to. It does not have to. It just doesn't. Right? It just doesn't. Or it will in its own time. I don't know when. The question is when. We know it'll come back. We'll do something, but when. All right. So, and then this will be the daily fair value gap close. Whoop. Can't type this Sunday. It happens. I'm getting warmed up. Sundays are my warm up. Come back Monday, be a lot better. So we'll put daily gap up here. Daily gap open. Not a fair value gap, just gap, right? And difference. Globex, if you have to put the word Globex gap in there, sure. Whatever floats your boat. And this would be top resistance or daily. Let's see what I want to do. Daily gap close, which, all that jazz. All right. Okay, so this is what we got so far. Right? So we'll leave it like this, and now we'll come down to 2 hour and see what else we can get. Because I see the top here. I see it, y'all. So I could mark this, the tweezer top right here, the shoulder at 45.53. I see it. Okay, we can mark that as like a daily before I go down to 2 hour. Just to acknowledge, because we know price is coming up there, and we know price will potentially turn around there. So go ahead and mark it, because on the 2 hour, we're gonna have to like really scroll. So before I jump down on the 2 hour, let me go ahead and mark the top of this tweezer top-ish, and emphasis on ish because it ain't really that level. I think this would be technically kind of a I guess dark cloud cover candle, just really big ones, right? These two candles be dark cloud covered, and it because the red candle is a little higher than the green candle, and it breaks down and it continues to break down because it's a bearish pattern. Okay, we'll call it that one. Either way, mark the damn top of it, and be done with it from there. So let's see how I want to do. There's the wick and there's a base. So let's take this one out. And you could do the zone too. That's fair if you feel like it, but I'm pretty confident I'm gonna come in with a 2 hour or smaller time frame and get something to take, like label that wick. So I'm gonna leave it right there, 45.56, and I'll label it daily. I mean, daily candle. What do I usually put? Candle tops or whatever, something like that. Candle body top. Something like that. Whatever works, all right. Whatever, as long as it's your chart, ain't nobody else looking at it. I just got all y'all looking at mine, but everybody else, don't worry about it. All right, whatever works for you. So there we go. All right, cool. So now let's go to the 2 hour and see how our lines line up and see where we can go and see what our candlestick patterns look like and everything else. So looking at the 2 hour, we can clearly see price has been a trifling choppy troll since Tuesday. Hasn't really been going anywhere. Just doing a lot of fake little W-ish looking moves. And those little double bottom little ish looking moves and just being real ish looking and real whatever. So now we want to, it does look like it's kind of creating an M, but I'm not holding my breath because this level 4509, 4505 has just been killing me. And I'm just waiting for you to actually, so next time I see this, so this is what I learned from last week. Every trading week, I learn something new. And every trading week, I write it down. In every trading week, I further define my trading pattern, trading plan, even though it's pretty defined, but I always come up with something else. Like, I could probably put more rules on myself for certain things. It all comes down to a game of discipline, y'all. So the 4509 is the opening of the daily fair value gap to the bottom. On a 2-hour time frame, we see that it has been beating up against this line quite a few times. The key here is, for me, which I recognized last week, and I kind of could have held on to that. I could have potentially not reversed positions until price broke past the fair value. So like this jolted me because it was so close. Like the wick came down. I was like, oh, come on, you're just gonna do it. I only need like $1 more too. It just did not do it. So that's fine. So that, those little crazy pump fake wicks, they do that to you sometimes. It is what it is. Ultimately, though, this is where sometimes conservative trader is the best place to start, because you're just not as impulsively eager to jump in. So what I would say is when price broke down past the 44.99.25, that would have been a more guaranteed way to say price is coming down, because then it would have entered that fair value, that 2-hour fair value gap to the bottom. Right now, we have no kids, we have nothing, we have no real retests to that fair gap, we have nothing. We have an almost attempt to try to get back to it, and then it failed. So until price really kisses this line, gives me some kids in this fair value gap, I'm probably going to sit on my hands. I ain't even going to say I'm going to play bullish. I'm not saying that. I'm going to sit on my hands, because at this point, I tried a few things last week, tried to scalp this, did a few things. It's totally fine. It was profitable. But overall, it's work. So what you could do is wait for that potential break, be a more conservative move, know that you're going to get wicks, and know that price really wants to actually even want to try to come back down here. Because my thing is, if it doesn't leave any wicks in it, it may not even care about it, and we may just come clear the top and come back later. I don't know. The way the chart looks as a whole, coming back, it doesn't look like it's going to do something like that. Plus, we know everything moves like a wave, so at some point it has to do the sway, right? Gotta eventually do some type of sway, but how sway it goes, how sway, that's all subjective. So could be a fun week. Agreed. Extra to practice in Sims to alleviate the FOMO and prevent us from losing real money. Agreed. And you can just further get into understanding that the sway of it and how it may want to bounce off certain levels, and how you really want to trade that, especially the chop. I think the biggest thing that we need to learn, not just as traders, especially it's just us for now, I'm going to focus on our little group, is defining exactly what we want when the chart starts to chop, right? Because we know it's chopping. We never know how long, and I think that's what makes us get a little eager. We're like, oh, it's gonna do it now, it's gonna break on, and it's so what is the chop trading plan is the question I want all of you to ask yourselves. You have your single leg, right? You have either your debit spread, credit spread, whatever, to take advantage of, however you want to take advantage of the runs, fine, but how are you taking advantage of the chop? Or are you not trading the chop? I can't tell you which one to do, because I find it fun to figure out how to trade chops. So I'm just leave my. I'm not gonna say y'all to don't trade the chop. I'm gonna just say, if you're gonna do it, please figure out a way to do it successfully and stick to your trading plan. All right. So me, probably go back to just selling credit spreads, like day by day. It's just easy daily salary, little easy daily check. Be done with it. SPX. And just be done with it, right? And I don't need it to do much, and I know how to PDT hack my way out, so I can do that too.
Randy,
on
this 2-hour, hi,
Sandra, welcome back.
Thank you. This looks like a double top right here. These two pins right. Is this a M? What are we looking at? Is this
I'm
a
not calling it. I
bull
can't.
flag?
I
It
wish
looks
I
like a
could call.
bull flag. It looks like an M. It looks like a
It looked like
what?
all the above.
It look all that.
I
All that.
called all that last week. I was like, it's flaggish, but it could be flag and break out and turn around. It could be flag continuation going up because there is some liquidity at the top, which I will chart in a second. It looks M-ish, but I don't trust it. Until I really don't trust the M now because it did this little fake crap right here. And I thought the 4505, I thought it coming past here would have been enough. And it was like, no. And I had a sentiment. I did have an intuition say, Randy, it's not really going to mean anything until it pushes back into fair. Because I know my fair value gap theory. If it don't want to like really test back into that fair value gap, that's not it's not coming down. And even if it comes into it, you should have to be careful because it can just come into
touch it and then pop right
it
back
can
out.
yeah, it can like leave bodies, especially if it leaves bodies like down here, right? It came down into it, but it left a bunch of bodies in it, so it wasn't trying to come back, continue down.
Right.
So you just have to play it by ear. But if you have nothing, it's kind of even more so like it doesn't want to be bothered with it. So I'm not calling it an M until I hear my alert go off at this 44.99. Like it got to come below the 4,500 and close, not wick the shit, like close to me. Like it really needs to, the wick either needs to be long, like it needs to like push down here, wicked, because that the more wick left in the fair value gap, the potential more likely it will come down and finish it.
Right. You don't want to ride it down to that fair value gap?
I did that right here already, and I got cut short, little fucker, because it didn't hit me. I tried that shit. That's why I'm saying what I'm saying, Tandra. Tay made me mad.
Oh, okay.
Come on, look, this wick is at. I had literally said take profit at 4,500 because I had a feeling it would do that dumb shit, and you gave me 4501.75. Like, come on.
Okay. All right. I see you. So I guess if you do write it down, be ready to jump off, you know.
Right. Because the problem was
basically make your stop closer. Just kind of ride that stop pretty close.
My always thing is like, okay, because the fair value gap is below the order block, I always tell y'all take the bottom of the order block first, right? And if you take that, you wouldn't have no issue. This is why I say take that first, because it tested the top of the order block. That was this one. Then it cleared the candle breaking out of the order block. That was this one. Now it's just, I don't know. I'm assuming it's going to do maybe a 3, but you can get triple tops because it can do a triple top and then finally break.
Right.
So at this point, that's why you're like, does it look double top? I'm not saying that because at this point, with this ugly W in the middle of it too, I'm like, you probably going to do some triple top stuff. I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced that this is a flag.
Right.
Not convinced of anything
because it looks like, but on those smaller time frames, it look more W than anything. So
it does, but that messed me up. That messed us all up last week. Okay, you weren't here, but ask Esther. Me and Esther was the
Right. Yeah, I got to peek in a little bit on Friday, and I was like,
man, we were getting our asses kicked with SPY last week trying to play this damn job.
Right. I'm thinking that if I play this week, I'm probably gonna do it MES because I can, I don't have to worry about PDT.
But be careful because that shit didn't work with me either. So I was trying to do MES and SPY, and I was still getting my ass handed to me, Tandra.
Got it.
All right, this chop, because the problem was the chop was too quick. Like even if you play MES, you had to really be okay with like $5 to $20 each trade. And I don't care for that.
So, okay. I would have been fine. I'd be like, yes, $20.
Yeah, but you would have had to watch and take them. I'm telling you, would have lost your money. It was very like I would have like $20 and it would float at 20, and then I'd be down $20 like so quick. And then I finally get up 50. I may get that. And then it looked like it was going, and then it turned around. Next thing you know, now I'm down $20 again. And that's just like,
okay.
So I was stuck between like a $50 P&L both ways.
Right. Okay. So when I trade MES, I trade my stops. Once I get in and I just follow it. Once it starts making $1, once it move $1, I move my stop. I move it with it. So I trace it very closely.
That's fine.
I don't make a lot of money. I don't make a lot of money on MES, but it's my way to keep from losing. So, but again,
you got a strategy, because I don't play with stops. So this shit was just
Right.
kicking my ass.
Oh yeah,
So
I have my stops in. Yeah.
because it was so short. Like I got a little bit of money here, then it came up a little bit, and then it came, and I was just like, "Are you trying to break the level or what?" It was just driving me nuts. Like I said,
Okay. All right. Okay. So duly noted. I'll
saying
just
me
keep it.
too. We were trying because these fake W's were making us think we could take it. And
right.
I'm starting to notice the difference between the fake ones. Like the more we play it, the more you're gonna start to see the strength of the W.
All right.
And this one is not as strong. We've seen stronger W's in this for sure.
Right. Yeah.
Right, guys?
Yeah. So you just confirmed for me that I'll just need to keep trading MES the way I trade it. Very close.
Yeah, there you go.
I trace it very, like I said, once I get it, I'm like, I don't have time to be losing money. So I keep following it. Every time I move it, I move up. I move up 50 cents.
Look in the comment, look in the chat. Marsha's saying the same thing. She's getting her ass kicked trying to play MES doing the way.
Yeah, Marsha, like I said, I just like I said, we move $1, I move my stop up 50 cents. It go up the next dollar, I move the stop up 50. I just keep following it just like that. Yes.
But that's what I'm saying. What is it? What do y'all think based on? Okay, now we got a few people. Marsha then said, "Oh my God, it was awful." Esther's like, "I'm traumatized." Fatima's like, "I fucking lost $1,200 last week." Oh, right? She was mad. Okay. All right, ladies. What is the trading plan during the chop? Not trade it or go back to verticals. Y'all gonna have to choose. And yeah, Jacinia did her take my money and she ran like hell too. She was like, ah. Whitney says vertical. I'm with Whitney. I'm thinking vertical because it's just so much easier to just go in and do kind of like the same. For me, it doesn't change my mindset on trading.
I'm not a fan of vertical, so not a fan.
Martin, look, I'm getting the consensus. Look, so we got vertical. We got Marsha saying, "I'm not going to trade."
Yeah. Yeah, I may just do some tight trade. I may do a high and low with the lower time frame and just probably trade within that with MES. So that's probably what I'll.
And here's the other thing, ladies. I don't know what we thought after $100 warrant it was going to keep, because I mean, we knew it would pause, but I guess we had a little bit of hope in of like, well, you ran so much, you just got a little bit left. Just take out a little bit left. Deeper in the money. Yeah, look, the overall consensus is don't trade the chop. But there are chop strategies, and those chop strategies are verticals, like straddles, like those are chop strategies, but the overall consensus is don't trade the chop. So look, that's why I say I'm not going to advise either way. I just want y'all to have a plan for whatever you do. Just plan it. That's the key. All right. So this is a little bit of liquidity at the top that I was speaking of and back on the daily. And of course, we have the fair value at the bottom. So let's look into this 2 hour to figure out where we can go. So if we come back to that little bit of room left, I don't know why my fair value gap indicator is not illuminating this particular fair value gap, but it's here. So if I put a line at the opening of it, all right, because price already bouncing here, it was going all over the place. So if I go ahead and put 45.34, excuse me, as like the opening of this fair value gap. So we'll label it as such. 2 hour fair value gap open. All right. The close is really right there at the top of the daily candle. Enough said. Let's just take this one line. Let's go back to current price, see where we're at. Look at that shit. Now, how many times you gonna wick into the 2 hour fair value gap and not take it? Anybody? Like I am. So because of that does make me feel like it may want to turn around and not go through this gap, because we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's just like really. So this is, but I'm weary about it, because that's what made me want to play up, because I'm like, well, how many times are you gonna keep striking into it and not take it to the close, because it's not that much room. But maybe it's not a significant fair value gap. That's why the indicators broke on it. May have some other, these indicators are coded. And so you guys know inputs, and there's a whole bunch of settings on these things. And I've never played with the settings on this. Okay. So let's just say maybe there's no fair value gap up there since it didn't illuminate. And that's why it's doing this. Okay. So push up. So this is like resistance right now. Clearly, like this whole zone between 45.34 to 45.56. This is like strong resistance. The price is really struggling to push through here. Price is also struggling to come down too. So this week for sure, I'm probably going to sit on my hands more. And if price breaks out on a run through, I'll just try to jump in and catch however much money is left. Just like I caught, this took off me this morning, like that morning, and I left $30 on the table, but it came up and did another 70. So it was like, okay, well, I'll just catch the rest. Great. But but we know a day doesn't always happen like that. So if I could catch the rest, then great. But I'm not holding my breath. It's a holiday week. I'm expecting more chops. So I'll probably just trade verticals. So, and I understand, yes, Esther, we could, emphasis on the could, be better off with individual stocks, because I am thinking to give the ES and the SPY a break for this week, come back towards the end of the month. And then if one of the under stocks want to do something crazy because, their CEO did some stupid stuff, great, we'll trade that instead. I'm all for it. We got earnings, like I will focus on the tickers that have earnings. Esther dropped those gems, Nvidia, what was it? Nvidia, HP, Lowe's. Look at those for your move, for a better move. Cause I ain't gonna lie to you, this ain't a great move. And in a couple minutes when this sucker come online, I think we're still gonna be stuck in this area. No Fibonacci can help you, nothing can help you right now. I'm trying to tell you that because it's chopping. All right. So let's look at SPY took my money last week. I'm still pissed. Look, you have no idea how much money SPY took for me. So we ain't even gonna go there. We're just gonna stay positive. We're just gonna make it back. Because when you lose something, it gives you room to gain more. That's how it's all about mindset, Esther. We're gonna keep it positive. So let's take a look at any ticker you want to throw out. Go for it. Perfect, Esther. Love that mindset. Don't look back. The reason why. Okay, so I'm gonna start with Oracle just because I'm actually still holding Oracle through all this crap. Oh boy, and I was down like $200 too. All right, so Oracle, I have some time on, right? So I'm still holding some Oracle contracts. They're chopping up right here. So it's chopping up. We'll see. It doesn't really look like it's giving me a hard turnaround just yet. I don't know if I can trust this. It came down here. It looks like it may want to come back up. We have kids left in the 2-hour fair value gap. That's great, and come back up here. But will it hold as a W? I think it has a higher probability of holding as a bit of a bit more run, because the second low is significantly higher than the first low. That does have a W-ish form to it. But we don't want to stress too much on the issues. But we are looking at the 2-hour fair value gap. That's a very confirmed. We'll at least close that, come back up to the top, meet the previous high. We can at least potentially do that unless it wants to turn around before then. And then if it breaks, which I'm looking for it to really push into the 116 area, 117 area and break. And then I know we can come up to the 118, 120, which is where it seems like Marsha's in it, and Jasenia are all looking to take profit. And I don't know if Whitney jumped back in on Oracle with us. I'm not sure what she's doing, but that's the move. We're looking to 120. All right. So Oracle's doing fine and dandy. Yes, it fell down, but it didn't make me feel like it's turning around. Looking at how it's moving, looking at where that in the gap, it just needs time to breathe. And I did recommend, if you're going to trade options with Oracle, please buy time, because it moves slow as hell, and you're going to need that time for it to breathe. All right, come on, Esther. Let's look at Lilly. What you got? We're going to chart it.
Indigestion is what I got.
No, Pepto-Bismol. How the commercial go?
Seriously, it's more like Drama Llama at this point. I think Lilly is definitely the Drama Llama of the week. So yeah, look at that last daily. I mean, that's just crazy. Look at the weekly.
I'm on the weekly, so I was going to do a weekly top down. Okay. So let's look at the from the weekly. It looks like it still want to come up.
There is no reason Lilly should be going down right now. That's the weird thing. I think it hit algorithms and sell orders, and yeah, I don't know. All the news is good. Like, there is no rhyme or reason. Only the Fed minutes might screw us. I don't know. So
I mean, yeah. It's it look okay. The weekly looks like it still is trying to come up some. Is just creating a very ugly order block at the moment. It doesn't give me vibes that it was trying to come down. It's just giving me vibes that it's stuck. It's just like building, I guess. I don't know how you want to call it, Esther.
Well, this is also the all-time highs. So
No, that's what yeah, exactly. It's building.
right.
So it's like
exactly.
it because the every time it comes back down, it don't match. It don't come
635.
all the way back down. That's
Right.
like every time.
Exactly.
It's
Mhm.
like come down and then up, back up, come down, and it's getting higher each time. So it's just trying to climb. It's climbing. So I don't know. You either gonna like this one. It's so hard. It's sometimes it is hard as a trader to be like, let's go big or go home. And just trust the fact that it's just gonna go on by like 3 months of time and right and trust it. But I do think this is more of a long-term swing thing, Lily. Like you really need to buy a month of time and just hold it, or just buy the share. So she's saying,
Yeah,
wait
I
till
think
it
this is a
does.
really good.
So okay, Yesenia's saying wait till there's a good fall. What is a good fall?
I agree.
Yesenia?
I don't know if it's going to come back down to that 560 range. There's a gap there. There's look at this on the daily chart. Yeah, see. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to come back to there. You think so, Yesenia? Okay.
Purple.
All right. Hey, I'm ready to buy Eli Lilly at 567. Sign me up. Or even 558. Shit. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. See how much weight people gain on about the holidays. And they all want to buy Eli Lilly's
There you
drugs to
go.
get skinny.
There you go. They're gonna be running the Lilly once they're trying to lose that 10 pounds of turkey they don't all ate.
Mm-hmm. You wait. I don't know. I don't understand why it's fallen, so we shall see.
It to me looks like it doesn't really look like it's falling. Like this order block is actually this fair value gap's holding it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's just
Yeah, it's holding it up. It's propping it up, literally.
it's holding it. This is a lot of wick action down here. Here's the daily. I haven't even gone to a smaller time frame. So to me, I just think it's just like you said, we are an all-time high. We've been in this all-time high area. It just has to like
Something
work
has to
its
happen.
way out. And I know you want it for that. I know, but see, the more people come out like me, Eli Lilly gonna go away.
Well, yeah, but girl, there are so many more people who need this drug than there are of you. Trust me, right, Tandra? They
don't need it. They need to get like me, Esther. They need to get like me.
Girl, they do. It's in so many ways. But
I know we're not there yet.
Yeah, I agree with Yesenia. I definitely think it's going to break much higher next year. But what I'm thinking is maybe play in this fair value gap on that daily chart. Because it keeps tapping it, like looking on a lower time frame and just riding it up and down, up and down, up and because it's just going to chop here, and then it's finally going to pick a direction.
It's tapping because it wants your money.
I love. There you go. Just send it
love
the
you.
truth. Like, let it be known they're trying to steal
right.
us right now. They're trying to trick you. Esther, don't fall for it. Trader psychology.
So right.
Chop.
So right. Forget it. Not trading the chop. You're right.
Hold on. Don't trade the chop. Just hold on. Wait till it has a good fall and then get in, because then you're gonna make your money.
Well, see, and that's what I thought 3 days ago. See, with that huge red candle, that was where I was waiting, and then it wasn't going to continue to fall. So,
well, yeah, that's only 3 days, though. You got to give it at least 2 weeks.
Okay, that's fair. Let's see. See if Lily's been naughty or Lily's been nice, right? We'll find out.
We're coming to that time, right? Where we checking the list twice, trying to figure out if these stocks been naughty or nice.
They're taking our money. They're naughty.
It's supposed to be give and receive. Market, give and receive. You don't just take. You got to give it back. It's the power of Christmas. The power of love. You're supposed to love us. We love you. You love us back. Nah, man, you got like corruption behind these markets. They're like, we don't care about you. All right. Any other tickers? Anything next before y'all know I'm gonna go down Apple, Adobe, that anything other than those. Here's Apple. Why don't I gotta figure out my psychology with Apple too? Like that long. Jasenia, I'm gonna need you to like imprint some of your long-term. I should have been holding Apple calls like for January this whole time. Just, apple's not that expensive. Like, look at this. This is like a straight run up, but these little stupid small candles made me like, I don't know what I want to get into Apple. Oh my God.
I pulled a Yesenia and we bought the shares. We have
You did?
my
Oh, yeah.
husband
How are you?
bought
Yeah, I
shares.
forgot. You and your husband killing Apple. How y'all doing?
Yeah, we got in at 128.
Yeah. I'm just gonna give
Yeah.
y'all this look. This is that sarcastic. Like, yeah, I'm happy for you, but not really. Look.
128 is when we got in. That was when it was way down there. So yeah.
Y'all rich.
Way back there.
Let me-
Yeah, we were way down there.
Let me get some of
Yeah.
that Apple. I'm just kidding. No, that was good. No, I mean, I remember you saying it too. We were on this call when you said you bought it.
Yeah.
So she said 120. Y'all, this
Way
is
down there.
this is where
Oh, Whitney's at
Honda-
126. Whitney. Woo.
hey,
even
look at
better.
y'all. This is where y'all living right now. So y'all
Yeah.
all the way. What is that? From 120, 130, 120, 120, 126, 126 all the way up to now. That's $64. You got that on shares? Y'all got a $64 share? Y'all got $64 options.
Shares. I bought shares. So
What about Whitney? Shares? All right.
shares.
That's still, hey, ain't no problem holding Apple shares. None at all. But damn, where would the contract be at right now? Oh,
I know. Well, it's like
you had to
are
play
you-
like a leap to do this. This is too much time.
I know. Did you,
you would-
but are you still holding Nvidia?
No, I got out of Nvidia shares when it dropped to that it came down to like 400, 390
Okay.
something. Because I got scared. I took money and ran because I didn't know what was gonna happen. But I didn't get back in down here. That was my only mistake.
Okay.
I got out right here.
Got it. Okay.
And
Well,
I
you
coulda
still
got
made a
back
good
in.
profit because you guys got in when it before.
We
it
got
did.
in at 2 something.
Right.
We got in before.
Right.
Yeah. So now I took the profit, so I have no problem just getting back in. So it's no problem.
Yeah.
I think now I just kind of, let's see, probably get it. Now this is a W. But my only issue is because it's a little lower, it may come up just a bit and then come back down. I don't know how strong it wants to do a run up after it breaks up because I don't have equal bottoms of this W. I have slightly lower on the second. So I do think it'll pop up a bit, but this is all-time high territory, so you don't know how much a bit is. And then it'll come back down to at least, probably potentially even revisit this gap. But you can take it in stages. I see the hesitation. So we'll see how it wants to play out. We'll just see. Yeah, earnings is gonna give you the push either way. It's gonna pop up. It's gonna probably do both. Knowing Nvidia, because earnings is what made Nvidia come up to this break. This candle was earnings, right? This big one up here, and then price just fell down the whole day because it just ran up there. So I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I may just because I know how much I can eat off Nvidia, I may just keep all my money and just focus on Nvidia. And just make my money just using Nvidia and be done with it. You just need like $5. You don't need Nvidia to do much. Just take it and just be out.
Well,
Done.
because Nvidia and like even like Adobe, like I was watching Adobe like last week. I'm like $12 and $19 and $20. What?
Yeah, but then Adobe didn't give me like Adobe was kind of, there's the daily right here. Adobe was a little choppy-ish.
Right.
After Tuesday, so Esther and I were speaking of now. Esther and I were speaking of this, and we were pretty convinced because it actually did get up to the 605, 610. So we were trying to figure out when's the best time to get in to hold Adobe at least like 2 weeks or something, because the pattern does look like it's building the momentum to take out this gap up to 627. So we're at 602, and I would love to take 602, 627. I mean, come on, Tandra, like.
Yeah, I'll meet you on that one. So we gotta let it pull back though. It needs to pull back.
I don't know if it wants to pull back like that.
Adobe doesn't like pulling back
because it does. I don't think it does. The reason why I say I don't have a strong pullback on this. Okay, the daily W on Adobe, the second leg is higher than the first one. Also, we already have a small order block that's already been gapped up out of, and you're just trolling slightly above the previous one. So it doesn't. You don't. Where are you pulling back to? Just to the bottom of this gap at 588. to fill
Yeah.
that? Maybe, but you also have wicks all the way already in here. So the strength of it, weak, right? So I'm like, I feel like Adobe about to take off any moment. And I
Yeah.
swear we blink and it's going to be gone.
Yeah.
That's Adobe. Like, see what it does tomorrow. I almost want to position myself in for this snap because Adobe looks like it's about ready to snap up. It's right there. It's so right there. And then when you come back on the daily chart, I'm not gonna move my lines too much, but there's a 2-hour gap fill. That's where the 627 come in. The 613, like this level, if I move this up a little bit, that was the daily wick. So I'll move this line up. I gotta see, it may have been from like current price, close to current price, but this is where the gap like closed, the 616 area. Let's take this line out. Okay. All right, let me go back to current. All right, because that was this wick that I was acknowledging, this daily wick. So the fact that the gap closed, so the I can change this label. Let's change it to gap close. Oops. Two hands ready, close. There we go. Okay, so we can do it like this. And then you see how we wicked it, but we haven't really technically closed the gap 100% from this wick. And then once you close it, then you just gotta push a little bit more. So you close it at 615. Then it's the next one. So 615 may be it, but we know Adobe, man. They get the right, you get, oh man, when Adobe earnings at? December 13th. That will definitely push it up if it's going to troll around all this week. So I don't know. Like this week is going to be slow. But again, maybe position yourself towards the end of the week so you won't have as much theta killing you. I don't know. But I would, oh man, Adobe, you are like right there. And like when you come to the 2-hour, this is what I want you to see. So even though it's like that, the gap close on the daily is here. When you come to the 2-hour, that's when you see that the gap is further up here. See that? And that's what makes me take it all the way up, because on the 2-hour time frame, the gap is deeper. So yeah. So that's what makes me feel like I could take it to 627. It's a deep gap.
But where you want to get in?
Now, between
Okay.
now and then, I'm just like I'm trusting
Adobe's
my
expensive.
female
How much is
intuition here, Tandra. I'm trying to tap in on it.
Right.
Because it's forming it. Like I'm coming back to because on a 2-hour, it looks like this. So it's beating up against that weekly fair value close. It got a U. It can't break it. It doesn't really have room down either. Like, how would you read this 2-hour? It's like cradle-ish.
Yeah, that does look like a cradle.
Huh?
Yeah, this looks like a cradle.
It looks cradle-ish, looks like it's trying. You got the wick that it kind of needs, that it was rejected from. You don't really have a lot at the bottom for it to just fall. So it's a sticky spot of some, like, you kind of just gotta be like, all right, I'm taking it and trusting that it's gonna go up. Because the pattern right now was a little iffy. That's all I'll say. How about options that expire on December 15th, 2 days after earnings?
I'm looking at options for it now to see what they look like.
After, I don't know. I want to so if we do December 15th after, see, okay, Esther, the only issue is, because you did this before with earnings. we need earnings psychology 101. God, Tiffany, I need you to come back to this room. Okay. So when we trade earnings, we know that it has a probability to potentially go like both ways, right? So if you're getting the expiration after earnings, are you getting out before earnings, or are you trading through earnings? So earnings would be the most lucrative part of this move. And you may not get the 627 till earnings.
Right. I would actually set a target and get out way sooner than that, because I think the move will actually happen on the anticipation of what earnings is going to do. And you're right, it might not be all the way to 627 before earnings, but definitely to 615 or 620, right? Like, I think it can definitely do that move from where we are now.
I get what you're saying. So you're saying get in now, ride
Right.
back up to close the daily
Yeah,
daily
'cause I
gap
think-
type of thing.
And
And
the
then be
December
out by
15th
then,
option.
and then earnings will take it
Right.
the rest.
Right. And
All right,
and
that's
the
fine.
December 15th is a monthly option, so the volume's going to be really high in comparison to the weeklies, right?
Mhm.
So it's expensive though. It's $26.20 a share. Yikes. Yikes.
Yeah, I was
So
about to say it's hella high.
hella high. So yeah, I don't know if that strategy
Yeah,
would work, but that's a sim
you know,
trade.
you say hella high, but don't get too scared. 100% profits on that.
Well, yeah, that'd be nice,
100%
right?
return. Always think what your 100% return could be.
Right. Right. Yeah, we will see, right? I think we have time. I think if anybody can do it, Adobe can do it.
Agreed.
So, okay.
But I agree. Tandra, you were asking me when will we do it, and kind of Esther kind of co-signed, like, now is the time to kind of be planning this move. And you just gotta kind of trust, if you're gonna trust yourself and do it and manage properly. You know, because you can't make the charts do anything that they want to do. So they're gonna do whatever they feel like it. $600 strike. I feel you. That's not a bad trade. Theta is 50. Yeah, but I need Theta to be like 20. Oh man. I know. Takes money to make money, but it does work. You can be in the market less when or be shorter time in the market when you do put more on the line. So all right, so we did Adobe, we did Lilly, took a glance at Apple. We took a glance at Nvidia. We didn't really like completely chart it 100%. It's just kind of running up, and we see that it's hitting the levels. It's just been a straight run up between Nvidia and Apple. So before I'll let you guys figure out what other ticker you want to drop as far as like stock wise, but let's take a peek at Dow and NASDAQ to get a better idea of where the push may come. Because if we want to trade 6 o'clock now, market just came online. So we have the Dow looking like this. And guys, I'm going to actually start trading the Dow futures because I think it'll be fun. And there's nothing else to that. So the Dow is really coming up. Like we had, cradle, we paused at the top of the cradle, consolidated, broke out, continued up. Now at the next order block. And if it wants to break through this order block, it will come up to this last little candle body, 35,281, and kind of like holds that off as well. From there, I think we're really going to get stuck because this area it's a pretty big, dense area of consolidation. So to break it, I think we'll come up in it. I think we can trade through it, no problem. But as far as breaking above it to finally get us back into like a new bull run from the ETFs perspective, or market, what I'm trying to say, that perspective of it, larger indexes and ETF perspective, we still got some way to go, right? We still got some climbing to do, some retracement to really get us into we're making all-time highs again. We saw news last week, lingering words of recession. We're gonna see how this whole thing plays out, but either way, that fact still stays true. So we're gonna have to break this double top up here, and it may take some time. We could be chopping, we could be doing some crazy, I don't know what it's gonna look like, but I can see it's coming at least through to the top here. And that's just one move. All right, if we come down on a 2-hour, it's beating up against this line again. It looks a lot like the futures. Is it a flag? Is it turning around? What is it doing? I don't know. It's really hard to tell. We see the run-up candles on the 2-hour that could come back in here, but all in all, we just gotta wait. It's taking its time to let us know which way it wants to break out of, right? So Dow for now looks like it's pushing up a little bit. It opened down, so it's kind of closing the gap. That's no guarantee that it's going to be an update tomorrow or anything like that. Switching over to the NASDAQ to take a look. The NASDAQ is coming down. Gotta love it when they don't want to agree. So the NASDAQ started up and it's just coming down, right? And again, it's wicked into this daily fair value gap, but we are in between gaps. So we're still figuring out exactly which way it wants to break out. Okay. We know pins can be a fake out to breakouts too. As much as we get excited for a pin, ooh, look, we got a pin. The next candle could break out. The next candle could also not break out. And we saw that last week. All right. And then coming to look at the futures, if we're going to do the futures, a little tan to gap move, the futures open right here. It closed. We have a doji. So it's going to be kind of a hard from previous candle on Friday. It was a doji. So you do have a little bit there, but not much. The only other gap you can consider is the one between Thursday and Friday, and then also the one between Tuesday and Wednesday. Now, we did wick in between here, but of course, we all know that price will eventually put a solid body of the candle through here. I would love for this to happen sometime last week. I feel like I've been waiting this week, because I feel like all last week I've been waiting for this doggone thing to like stay down here further. But patience pays. And so we're going to patiently wait for price to get down and do its thing. And then we'll have a nice little at least a 50% retracement into this candle before coming back up, if that's the move it wants to do, or we'll be doing a full turnaround retracement down and revisit the order block at the bottom. I have no idea which way the chart wants to go, but that's what it's looking like. All right. Let's look at HD since you brought it up. So I don't really have, let me look at futures right now. Yeah, nothing's clear. So we're just gonna give it time. Usually 6 o'clock is not the time to enter unless it gapped enough. If it opened with a significant gap more than $5, then we would have a gap trade right now that we could take. We do not have that situation. Okay. So we're gonna wait till around 9 o'clock to see if the chart does anything else to give us an indication of where it may want to go. We have nothing for tomorrow. So I'm not expecting, 8:30 moves or anything crazy like that. We're just gonna see how the candles form, see what setup is trying to tell us, and see which way it's being pulled towards liquidity. All right. And then we can look at HD. And if y'all we do have a little more time that I can give you guys if you have any more tickers, but we can keep it simple for this week because we know it's going to be slow. We know what we know, and just keep going from there. So Home Depot, that's the weekly. So of course this is being a week. So let's do a weekly. And I love the fact that it's in this weekly fair value gap. That's amazing. So that looks nice and beautiful. That gives you, that should give you some strength to know that price does want to probably come up a little bit on HD for a little while, because you are entering into this week. And I just touched in there, okay, last week. So please be aware that it could pull back just a little bit before pushing further in there. But from the weekly perspective, we have a nice B, price coming down, running back up into the fair value gap. So we would expect it to want to finish out this candle, especially since we have a nice solid candle over here from the weekly. So coming to the daily on HD, I'm not really too much looking towards the bottom. I can mark the gaps, all right, as support, just so I can know that they're there. This is pretty decent gaps. Oops. And then of course acknowledge the wicks in the middle. We know price may not want to come down as far, blah, blah, blah. I'm more focused on this top run because I think this is where price wants to go, me personally. So because we're up in it and it'll pull back down, maybe touch back on the daily fair value gap down here at about 303, right? And then potentially come back up, because now we are stuck between gaps here. There is another gap, daily gap, between here and here on Home Depot. So we're in between gaps, but we have yet to really test in this daily gap at the top side. So, it could be stopping short, running out of steam because no one's coming close to it, but we have to push through there. And once we get through there, we'll probably have a good green light and price will climb. We do have another gap. All right. It's taking in phases. We know HD can be tricky sometimes, but when it's ready to move, it's going to go. So we do have another gap, 315 to 317. So be aware of that. Trade it in levels. All right. Trade it in levels. But we know that the top of the red here at 320 is the close of the weekly fair value gap. So that should give you some extra confidence that price is getting pulled towards this weekly fair, pulled through it, and things like that. All right. So that's a Home Depot setup, which actually doesn't look really bad. So that actually has some nice area to run. It kind of looks like Oracle where it got some gaps, but it has some room to run. So just buy time, but we always know to buy time with Home Depot because it's another slow one. All right. So, and it's pretty inexpensive, so we can manage capital pretty well. Any other tickers? Nvidia. See, I don't really do HP and all those. I don't even look at HP. I don't even own HP. I haven't owned HP in years. Ew, look at this chart. I'm not trading HP. That's not even the right. You said Hewlett Packard. See, I didn't want to. That's why I said. This is why I had to confirm with Esther. Like, is it which HP we talking about? Because I knew there was probably another HP ticker. Now, why am I spooling right now? I don't know. I was good to go up until the market turned on, so I don't know what that's about. Trading View, what are you doing? I guess I can't look at it with y'all today.
It's HPE for Hewlett Packard.
It's okay. Thank you, HPE. Nice. Let's see if I can get. There we go. There, push now. All right. So there's a weekly. Yeah, this chart looks like trash. I mean, yes, it may have whatever, but I don't like this chart. I'm not trading this.
Oh yeah, that's ranging right there, boy.
Yeah, like when I
doing nothing. It's just ranging. Yeah.
Esther quickly was like, never mind. The chart look ugly as hell. We gonna skip on that. What was the other one? Lowe's. What's the ticker for Lowe's, y'all? That's my thing is spooling. I don't know why it's spooling, but it's spooling. Anybody got the Lowe's ticker?
LOW.
Thank you. I don't know why the search is doing that. When I put it in, it's loading, but whatever. All right. Lowe's.
Looks
Ooh, now Lowe's got some room to run on the weekly.
Maybe is it similar to Home Depot? Huh.
Yeah, Lowe's and Home Depot usually about what and what. It's like Target and Walmart.
Oh, they are very similar. Very similar.
So
gaps and everything.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah, they tend to have a little different story as far as like Home Depot seems to have more of that contractor, commercial builder kind of edge to it, whereas Lowe's is trying to appeal to more of that person is trying to do their own flipping, right? Like, so
like
I don't know, we'll see. Sometimes it varies, and sometimes they really do act oppositely. So it's going to be interesting to see the effect, I think, that it has on a stock we know we watch a lot, right? Like Home Depot. So just a thought.
Well,
we're talking a lot about housing, and so yeah. Tuesday, yeah. So fun.
Well, at least on Tuesday it'll come and clear one of these. Well, I don't buy Tuesday. This is a pretty good gap. I wonder what's gonna happen.
It looks almost like a sideways. If you tilt your head one to the right, it looks like a W. See how it just kind of goes.
You're right.
But you have to tilt your head a little bit, right?
Draw for those who can't see. As she's talking about right here.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. I mean, I might be making it up. Right?
There you go.
You know.
And of course, you got the second leg shorter, but this gap makes me nervous. I ain't gonna lie, Esther. I think it may come back.
I totally agree. It makes me nervous too.
I think it may want to because earnings are so close. It may want to retrace down.
And that's why I would play Home Depot's response to Lowe's earnings report. Right, like I would watch the chart on Home Depot to see how they because sometimes if Lowe's does really well, Home Depot might go up in sympathy, but at the same time, if there are certain conversations in the conference call, right, that reflects poorly on Home Depot, you never know. It's interesting. I have watched that before, and it's very entertaining to see how the other chart responds. So, just a thought.
I didn't think yet. I'm seeing now how one goes first in earnings and the other one comes a little later. Huh?
We shall see.
That's funny. Do you think also you'll play the Lowe's move on HD because the contracts may not be inflated because it's not HD earnings?
Exactly. I do think, I think that HD options will be a lot cheaper, although I am not a genius that came up with this, right? So there are going to be a lot of traders, and I think certainly institutional traders that will be looking to trade Home Depot as a result of what Lowe's has to say. And the whole conversation around retail too, right? Because Kohl's is reporting this week too. So I think that there's this whole conversation about how strong is the American consumer, and how does that feed into the economy, right? So and kind of trying to read the tea leaves as they do on CNBC too often, right? So
Well,
just a thought.
here's Kohl's for those
See,
who
it's
shop at
another
Kohl's.
wonky looking W.
I want to say this is just to me a straight V with a gap in it.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's trying to come up into this. Where we're in. I can't stand when we in gaps. Oh my God. Okay. So I don't like when we're in between gaps. Tanta feels the same way. It's a very frustrating feeling. It's just like,
Well, because it feels like the magnets are pulling us in opposite directions.
I feel
Right?
claustrophobic.
The
That's what I
gaps.
feel. And I am claustrophobic. I'm stuck between gaps, like, just pick a damn gap. That's how I feel, y'all. Pick a gap so I can breathe. Oh my goodness. Gaps on gaps. Okay. So we're pulling towards, this is a really nice bounce. I ain't gonna lie. If you take off the colors here, this is definitely be 3 white shoulders because they're going up. Because I don't know if you all remember that tip from Kwana to turn. She actually makes her candles black. She don't look at no color because she doesn't want to be jaded by the color and the potential. Ooh, since it's green, it may be going up. It's like, no, I don't mean it's going up just because green is just closed higher than what it open. That's all it means. You know, like that's all it means. So she actually has black candles so she can focus on the trend, the wicks and the fair value gaps. So this would be a 3 white shoulder. I don't care. I don't care. There's red. They're 3 candles in trend going up. And then you would want it to break up here, but it is a gap. So it doesn't have to, could come back and fail. But Kohl's, I don't know how Kohl's move. We got like $1.37 ATR. Yeah, I don't have time for that. No, not me. Now, if y'all Tiffany style and want to get 30 cents out of something, by all means. If y'all want to take smaller cent moves out of stuff, there's nothing wrong with that either. I'm not against it. I just prefer $5 or more. With the occasional like Oracle, if you have like a really good move, then I'll sit in it. But this one to me is too close. It's not enough money for me to be worrying about $1.37 move. But there's a chart. All right. Cool. What else we got? If y'all are good, I think we went over most of the key stuff. Any other tickets going once, going twice? Went over some tickets for earnings this week. My main ticker is Oracle, what we're sitting in, the futures, Adobe, Apple. I'm just going to scroll through, take a peek at Amazon. Amazon looks like it's trying to come back up. I have to take these smaller lines out. I can leave some of my larger charting there. Yeah, for the weekly gap closes and stuff. It's trying to come up. It's kind of come through this weekly fair value gap close and come back to the weekly up here, right? So it's wicking around. Well, it's climbing. It's leaving one fair value gap, going to the next one. It's wicked in there. It just needs to close it. And Amazon looks real good for holding a bullish sentiment for just a little bit longer. Even how the last few candles closed between, Thursday, Friday last week, it's kind of looking like it's dipping back up. It doesn't really have area to run down. So I think, and we have a nice big W. I can see this leg shorter, but this is one of them Adam and Eve situations. Okay. It's one of them Adam and Eve situations because this looks like an erection and this is flat. I know. I'm sorry. Okay. So this is like one of them Adam and Eve W's. And most of them are bullish. We just want to be careful to see when they will actually fail based off of news and other data that is in the market. But most of them are usually bullish when it's like this. So even though this one's lower because it has an erection, it's going to stand tall. I know, but y'all get the analogy. So let it happen. All right. So other than that, we are good. Y'all have any others? Final call for tickers? Anything else y'all may want to potentially look at? Kim ain't in the house with us today, because Kim's usually good for giving us some other little ones that we may want to, that she likes to look at other things in the market. But I'm good. If y'all good, I'll see you guys on Tuesday. right? We'll be chatting it up tonight. We'll go back to the future so y'all can see what the future is doing for my futures traders tonight. With MES, we're all on standby. I would love to hold in the downward direction, but I'm being conservative right now. Conservative usually keeps every time I go aggressive, I won't say every time. Sometimes when I'm not careful and I go aggressive, that's when I can lose. Conservative, I stay pretty green. So we can wait for the breaks here and just keep our pockets green because we are in a chop. So yep. You kind of want to put that aggressive hat on when like a run is about to happen. Like don't be scared, like take it, like come on, But other than that, when it's choppy and slow, conservative. All right. All righty, you all. You guys take care. Have a great evening, great Monday morning. Love Mondays. And I will see you guys on Tuesday. Ciao.